Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dads. We are back, and the party has made it through a number of treacherous magical locations within this cave labyrinth inside of this mountain. You guys had just gotten past a rather dangerous encounter, and you're in the safety of a short hallway, and there's a set of stone stairs leading up. You may remember that above the archway of many of these rooms were inscriptions, and Durant, having studied and having kind of started to learn and ascertain, has been able to discern some of the meanings of these things, and some of them are names. And you guys have kind of figured out some links between the names and maybe something else. But you are basically at the bottom of a set of stone stairs that lead up.
We still have our two compatriots with us.
Yes. And I think it's fair to say that Varys and Torlin are very impressed with how you guys have managed to bypass so many of the things that decimated their entire expedition.
Is there any vibe with them that, like, as soon as we get them out, they're going on a bolt because they're too afraid of us, that the magic and stuff we're doing is, like, too confusing to them?
You know what? You're not really sure if it's fear or respect or maybe a little bit of both. But you don't get the sense that they're like gonna just run off as soon as possible. Particularly since you revealed the passage of time to them. And that likely means that they're probably the only two survivors of Captain Lesage's expedition. Likely means that.
I don't know, it's perception or whatever. Are we getting any breeze or any signs of what's up at the top of the staircase?
No. I'll say that you don't see any draw from the torches that Varys and Torlin are holding.
Hey guys, I think we should just head up. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
I say that's good.
All right, can we do a quick check on who has which orb? I believe Riff has the white orb, and the black orb he's got covered with his magic blanket. How about the other three? Who's got the orbs, boys?
I have a fire orb, I think.
I think Tuco has the green spatial orb.
Okay.
Yeah,
Humphrey wants his white orb back.
Twink. Here you go.
Humphrey is surprised at how easily you gave in.
It's enough just being responsible for this one right now, buddy. So
Fair enough.
So Tuco has the green orb. Humphrey has the white orb.
And the red orb.
Riff, you have the black orb contained in your magical cloak.
Yep.
Who has the blue orb?
Estrof has the best orb.
And then
Estrof.
open mouth.
Estrof, the blue orb swirls. You know, it's like you see almost like a liquid kind of lava lamp or gel, like that kind of swirling, like a slow swirl within the blue orb, just kind of calmly swirling.
Yeah, I'm having a Pippin moment.
All right, so you guys begin to head upstairs. When you arrive at the top of the stairs, there's a short, 5-foot landing, and then another archway that opens up into a large circular cave cavern.
Turn to Varys and ask, do you recognize this?
So they step forward with their torches, not crossing the threshold. And they kind of look in. And you see Varys look at Torlin, and Torlin shakes his head. And Varys turns to you and says, I don't remember this place. This isn't... He said, we entered a cave complex with many side passages, and we were attacked from almost all sides by monsters, but this doesn't look like that place.
Was that side place where you came, was that where you entered? Was that the first thing, or were there still other things that you experienced?
He said, when we entered the cave, we walked. There was a split, a passage that went right and one that went left. We went left. Captain Lesage led us to the left. We walked down a winding tunnel until we entered this cave complex. And that's when the monsters came and attacked us. That was the first nearly catastrophic encounter. And Torlin then, at a certain point, like, Varys kind of turned to explain to you. Torlin was still, like, looking in the cave, and he turns and he goes, Varys, look! There's one of them, but it's not moving. And he points, and just at the edge of the torchlight, you see, like, what looks like maybe a statue, but you're kind of too far away from it. It's about 50 feet into this large circular cavern. Varys and Torlin seem to be waiting for you guys.
Kinda
Okay, so
wanna
what's it? We'll say that
find
again.
a
So
rock and throw it in
what's
there.
What's in the middle of the cavern?
Estrof, you whip a rock into the cavern. You hear it go ting, 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 and skitter across the floor.
Riff uses.
Does it hit the statue?
It sounds like it might. So imagine you guys are looking into a huge cavern, like a circular cavern. You can only see about 30 feet in. But maybe 50 feet away is something in the center of this cavern.
Okay.
And it looks like a statue. It looks like it's made out of stone, and it looks tall, but you can't quite make out the features.
After hearing the rock skitter away, nothing seemed to happen yet. Riff uses sense danger, see if there's any aggression in the room, aggressive towards us, or even some of us being aggressive towards me right now. I don't know.
You don't sense danger at this moment.
All right.
Humphrey would like to. Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. That's it.
Well, Humphrey's like,
Such a
I'm
scary
going in.
phrase at this moment.
Yep. Humphrey
All right.
goes in. He walks up to the statue with the intention of walking up to the statue.
The moment Humphrey bravely crosses the threshold, Varys and Torlin will follow with their torches. As you guys enter, you notice that, again, because Torlin and Varys kind of spread out, about 5 feet on each side of Humphrey, you see that this room is full of stuff. And all the way around this circular chamber, dug into the cave walls, are these niches. Some of them are maybe like a foot wide and 2 feet tall and a foot deep. Some of them are a little larger and deeper, and all of them seem to have stuff in them. But as you are approaching the center of the cavern, you see looming at about 20 feet in height, you see a statue. Looks like it's made of stone, kind of like a grayish stone. And it looks, the closest thing that you could think of is like some kind of insect. It has like legs, like 2 legs and sort of like a tail, and it's standing in an upright position, and it has 4 arms that are all extended out. And it looks like, almost like if you combined a grasshopper with like a cockroach, or maybe even combined with a praying mantis. Like take all of those insect features and make it into a 20-foot tall statue, and that's what it looks like.
Would we know if this was an Umber Hulk?
Oh, you know what an Umber Hulk looks like.
Yeah, we fought one like ages
And
ago.
this doesn't look anything like an Umber Hulk.
Okay.
This doesn't look like anything that you've ever... Well, you know what, Humphrey? You are a learned person, as is Riff. I'm gonna have you make a memory roll. You're gonna make a perception plus history roll, both of you guys.
I checked for life forms
History.
around us,
I wonder if there's an
specifically
exit.
the crevices thing.
What I want to check for is exit.
Yeah.
Okay.
7.
8.
7 and 8 for perception plus history.
Yeah, I got 0 in history.
All right. Humphrey, you don't really remember a whole lot. Riff, you remember hearing about a monster called an ankeg. But you remember it being kind of like a almost like a giant ant type insect. This looks different even from that.
Is there an exit that we could see?
So, smash cut back to Tuco and Estrof. Tuco, you're looking around this large chamber for an exit. You don't see any exits around the chamber. As you fan out and Varys and Torlin kind of fan out, you guys don't see any exits. You look up, you see that the cave ceiling is only at its apex, it's maybe 10 feet taller than that large bug statue in the middle.
Anything on the statue itself that looks like it could be a passageway?
So, no. What you do see as you're spreading out, and also Estrof, as you're kind of looking around the room, you don't see any life forms. You don't see anything moving, you don't see any beasts, creatures, whatever. But as I mentioned before, you see these niches carved into the wall all around the room, and there's many of them. But about every 30 feet is a large niche that's like you kind of approach it with excitement, thinking like, oh, it's a doorway, but it's not. It's like the size of a doorway, like 5 feet wide, 10 feet tall, and 5 feet deep, but it's just a really big niche. And in each of these 5 deep niches, you see a statue. And each of the statues has a different depiction. They all look like they're carved from stone, but each one of them has a different depiction.
Sorry, depiction of what?
So as you're kind of walking around the room, from where you entered, starting on your left, the first of these large niches has a statue of a strong, muscular man. And the statue is like man-sized. It's like 6 foot tall. With like a beard and like long hair and just totally ripped, like just unrealistically muscular. As you continue kind of walking the perimeter, the circumference rather, of this cavern, again, smaller niches. And in a lot of the smaller niches, you see what kind of look like just different treasures. Like some of them have clay urns that are like painted and like stylized like figures and stuff. You see like jugs with ornamentation, like clay pottery. You see like lamps. You see like a brass candelabra. You see in one of them, you see a little skull, and it's covered in jewels, like it's completely bejeweled. You see many statues that just look like strange little figures.
Master Durant, do you see any of the writing that you saw before? And
As you kind of beckon Durant over, he goes over to the first large niche with you guys, and the niche of the large muscular man, and he looks at it, and you see that there is indeed writing underneath each statue on the pedestal on which it sits. And he's looking at this one, and he kind of goes back to his notes, and he says, "This is the same word that was in the chamber where we found the green orb." He says, "I believe it says Ayuk."
Are any of the small openings empty?
Yes, actually, many of them are.
Yeah,
Do I still have the diadem of my grandmother's wisdom from way back when?
You do.
Could I possibly take it out of my bag and put it in one of the empty spots?
Okay, you do.
And I just want to back up and see what happens.
Roll 5d4.
Well,
You die.
I am now stuck in a tiny hole.
Right? Pocket dimension.
What gem are you holding? The blue gem?
The blue gem.
Okay. When you do this, you set it down, you kind of wait, but like in your peripheral vision, because you guys are kind of like over by the muscular man statue. But like in your peripheral vision off to the right, you see like another one of these niches, but you see like a blue glow coming from it. Do you like walk over there?
Yeah, I definitely walk over there
Right.
and inspect it.
As you approach it, this has a statue of a female, human female. And also, like basically full size, like, 5.5 feet tall, with a gorgeous physique, but kind of a very matronly appearance. Like her hands are kind of like basically cupping her breasts. And you notice that there's like a dripping, like you see liquid dripping from between the hands over the breasts, and you see it like it almost looks like a mineral when like water passes through minerals and it kind of comes out milky and gray. It's kind of like a milky whitish gray, and it's dripping down, kind of just pooling on the cave floor below her statue. And she's glowing slightly blue.
Can I cast Detect Magic for the room?
Yes. Make a willpower plus magic roll.
Okay.
Your brain's going to be fried after this whole adventure.
Oh my god, I don't think I could roll this bad if I tried. 11. That was 7, so it was an 8d4, 7 1s, and a 4.
Okay, 11 still makes it because it's a spell that you know. It's not over, so you don't go beyond. So minus off 5 qua.
5 qua now.
And here's what you detect. Everybody who's holding an orb, those orbs are magical. Every one of the niches, the large niches with the statue, all 5 of them are magical. And then in one of the small niches where like the other kind of mundane things are, there's a brass candelabra, and that is magical.
Did you tell us this? What you saw?
Yeah, Humphrey, do you share what you're seeing with everyone?
Humphrey does, and he says, guys, it seems that we're meant to be putting our orbs in the right spot here.
Tuco wants to try something different. He wants to take his green orb and stand by the statue of the large muscular man concentrate on the orb and think about moving the statue away out of the crevice or whatever it's in.
He's going to try to use your body to move it.
Well, I'm assuming it's too big. He's 6 feet tall. I'm assuming it's going to be too heavy for Tuco to move physically.
Well,
Endurance, strength.
let me think about that.
And I'm thinking spatial. I want to use spatial magic. I'm thinking spatial is to move an object in space.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
energetic could do that too.
So here's what I'm going to do. You go ahead and roll 4d4.
$10, 14. Well, pretty good.
Really good. So you're, to be clear, you're holding
Green
the
orb.
green gem, the green orb, and you're standing next to the statue concentrating on it.
The large muscular man statue.
The statue starts to glow green, and your orb starts to pulse and glow green, but nothing else happens.
Humphrey goes to Riff and says, "Hey, go put that black orb back."
Side note, Estrof, you're holding the blue orb, and it is also pulsating. And the statue that's glowing, the female that's glowing in front of you, is pulsating. And you notice that on the pedestal on which she is positioned, there's words. There's more of those symbols.
So while I'm right there, and I've now kind of figured out that these are tied in together, I just want to hold. Now what?
Well, maybe we shouldn't do this. I know that it clearly wants us to put our orbs back in the spots, but maybe they were taken out for a reason. What do you think?
Can everyone go stand next to whatever is going to turn the color of their orb, just so we can get some matches up? I'm curious about the black orb.
So Durant is not currently holding an orb. Do you want to give him one? And
I'll give him the white orb.
Should we have Durant check what the blue writing is? The blue statue's writing is?
Yeah, hopefully.
okay, Durant goes over towards where Estrof is, and he looks down. He refers back to his notes that he's been taking, and he says, "This is the name that was above the archway when we obtained the blue orb. It says Busey." And he looks at the statue, and he looks at it glowing while Estrof is holding the orb. You give not Estrof. You give Durant the white orb.
Yeah, I do.
As you guys kind of proceed around the edges, past the statue of Busey, you come to another niche. This one shows a male figure as well, but this male figure is only 4 feet tall. He's jacked. He has a beard, and his hair in the sculpture, in the rendering of his hair, it kind of looks like spikes almost on his head.
How many of these large statues are they?
There are 5.
How many orbs do we have?
5.
Who's got the green orb again?
Tuco does.
Can you wait? No, Humphrey, can you walk over to that statue there? I feel like Deepa might be, from what I remember earlier, possibly, and I think that would be the earth, or no, sorry, the fire, possibly connected there.
Durant nods. He's like, yes. And Durant goes over, and again, he kind of goes with Humphrey.
Point of order, Humphrey is not a big fan of this idea of having to give up the orbs.
Well, we're not giving up the orbs. We're just holding them close to the statues.
Yeah, we're just like kind of lining up, so to speak.
Okay, Humphrey complies.
But remember, Dalan said that to get the piece that he wanted, each of the gods had put some kind of trap on there, and we've gone through 5 different chambers, fought 5 different battles or challenges to get these orbs, and now we're standing in front of gods, it looks like, that match those. So
But then where's the treasure?
What's in the center of the cave? We need an exit, and we need the item that Dalan wanted.
He said he promised us treasure along the way. If these orbs aren't the treasure, then where the hell's our treasure?
There's treasure in the small niches, right?
Yeah, in the small one.
If we touch that treasure, I guarantee that statue comes to life.
Is that
Just
what
because
we
it happened in
want?
Aladdin doesn't mean
It's just
gonna happen now.
because you watched Aladdin 500 times, Nathan.
Can we talk
I see
a
no
little
magic
bit?
carpet.
Can we
That's
talk
right,
a
that's
little
true.
bit about the orbs, because I've noticed, and I think you guys noticed, that these orbs seem to be attuned to one of the 4 elements that we're all familiar with, right? I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious.
Except
So-
for the one that we don't really
Well, yeah.
understand, the
And
black
at this
one,
point,
right?
Riff is kind of walking along next to Durant and holding, still holding this orb. And he's like, well, if we have the 4 elements, fire, water, earth, and air,
Well, so wait.
Art, it was
Point of
good
order.
art.
if
Point of order. Did Durant walked over to the next statue, which was the short man? Did Humphrey walk over there?
Yes.
Okay, so when you walked over there, you have the fire orb, and it starts to glow. It feels warm, and the statue of the short man starts to glow. And in fact, Durant confirms that the name written on the pedestal says Deepa.
so we've got Tuco is with
Ayuk.
Ayuk.
Humphrey's with
Estrof
Deepa.
is with Vusaik. Humphrey is with Deepa.
He gave
Durant-
the white orb to
Durant has the white orb because you gave it to him. He walks over to the next statue niche. So now you guys are very spread out, bear in mind. You're like 30 feet away from each other. He walks over to the next one and he says, this one says Vem. And I feel a breeze from the orb.
There.
Okay,
Never
guys.
cipher, Bill.
So these orbs seem to let us, in some small way at least, or in Humphrey's condition, a big way, control the associated elements, right? And Riff's like holding this covered black orb. He's like, is there a 5th element that I don't know about, that you guys might know about?
Only they made a
one-
movie out of this.
There's one more large niche that you have not gone over to.
Do I feel anything like, is the thing shaking, or, can I tell it's just,
Nothing's happening.
Nothing with the statue in the center of the room either is changing?
Nothing.
what do you guys think?
So point of order as well. Someone else has to have a torch because there's no way that you guys could see each other with just the torches that Torlin and Varys are holding.
Do the orbs themselves give off light when they're
They give off
pulsing?
They give off enough light if you're standing in front of the statue where you could see for maybe 10
Right.
feet.
Tuco has a hooded lantern. He's going to put some oil and light it up.
Riff is gonna light a torch. He's with Durant, so he's got like a torch in one hand and
Okay.
the other.
So beyond Durant's statue, which he's identified as Vem, you continue to walk around the perimeter. You see the last niche before you get back to the archway that you guys entered from. You look into the niche. You don't see anything.
You probably have to enter the spirit
Yes.
world to return it.
Is there any kind of writing or
Humphrey
anything
saying
around
that?
it?
You're not there. The only person's there is
Oh,
Riff.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Riff turns to Durant. He's like, brother, what do you think? It looks empty. Do we need to look with different eyes here?
Yes, but be careful.
All right. Riff will use spirit sense or ghost sight. Carefully, of course.
Okay. subtract 4 qua. You close your eyes and open them. You see, the spectral version of Durant down the way. You kind of look around the room. In your spirit sight, you see everyone that's there. Again, almost like an overlay of reality. You see all your friends. You see the orbs that they're holding, though, in the spirit sight, are crazy bright and much more intense in terms of their color saturation. Like, just radiating, right? Like
overwhelmingly bright? Like, am I like shielding?
No, not to where you're blinded, but like where, you see Tuco and the green is just radiating like expansive, pulsing kind of bright laser green, right? And, down from him, you see Estrof and you see the same, blue, like plumes of blue. And then, you see Humphrey and it's just red, orange, yellow, swirling, spikes shooting out like almost like spectral flames. You see Durant and it's just this white swirl, almost like a cloud swirling. And when you kind of look, remember, you have not opened up your cloak yet, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm standing in front of this niche that we can't see anything in.
But when you look into the niche with ghost sight, you see something standing in there. It's like a statue that you couldn't see physically, but it's there in the spirit realm. And what you see, it's humanoid in shape. And it doesn't really move, like it's in this posture where its arms are out and it's looking forward, but it has like a hood, so you can't really see its face. And you can't really see its hands because like the cloak kind of extends over its hands like long sleeves. And the cloak itself that the statue is wearing is billowing. The statue's not moving, but like it's wearing a cloak that is billowing and constantly moving.
Guys, we seem to be at a big decision moment. And Riff describes everything, all the glowing, your orbs are glowing, and this thing to them. And when Riff talks, his gaze is intent on this thing to see if it.
You guys hear Riff say this. Durant says, "What is it? What do you see, brother?"
Something very ominous, and I feel like it's just sitting there, but it might come at me any moment. I'm wondering if I want to display the orb here. I kind of feel like I need to. I'm feeling drawn to do that. But
I see no exits, so either we go back or we have to find another exit.
Durant,
I want to go ahead and touch mine to it.
Okay, you do. Nothing happens.
Just the tip.
I'm gonna get frustrated. I'm gonna tap it, and when nothing happens,
nothing happens.
Tink, 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 tink.
Nope.
So Rip turns to Durant. He's like, "Brother, should I show the orb, the black orb, here in front of this thing? What do you think?"
Well, and you see him touch his orb to them and nothing happens. And he says, "I don't think it necessarily does anything."
Right.
Estrof, Humphrey, Tuco, have you tried touching the orb to the statue? Mine doesn't seem to do anything.
Mine either. It's broken.
Well, just by being in close proximity, we get light.
All of your orbs are glowing
color.
profusely. You guys can't see it, but in the spirit realm, I am seeing it, or through ghost sight. All right, brace yourselves.
Tuco's getting his longbow ready.
No.
Point of
And
order.
Riff invented nuclear fusion.
Point of order. Riff, you still want to be looking in the spirit, minus off another qua. You extend the duration. You open up the cloak. Your orb is glowing purple. Like just as bright as everybody else's orbs in the spirit realm. When you guys like peek over towards Riff and you see him open the cloak, you don't see anything. Nothing's glowing. Riff's ghost sight, when you open it, the orb glows purple and you see two glowing eyes, but still no face. Do you try to like peek down up into the hood at all?
Yeah, Riff is like, oh gosh. What is his name? Hang on a second. Riff just
It's okay,
mutters like
we just might all die.
Riff mutters like, "Hupai, Vasei, who's please don't let me be overwhelmed. Please help me." And then he does like look up and try to see in the hood.
Okay, that's interesting. Hold on. Roll, oops, wrong one. Hold on. This might be...
The end of Rift's existence.
No, this might be kind of relevant. Roll 64 for me.
Um, 13. Nothing wrong comes from the number 13.
You feel a sense of confidence. That you feel, for some reason, you feel like you're safe.
That's when he asked Upai for help, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then just like, I guess just try to look up under the hood, see more than the eyes.
Okay, you look up under the hood. You see these two glowing purple kind of like eyes, effectively. Still no face, but as you look, it's almost like looking out a small window into the night sky. And you start to like gaze deeply, and all you see is like the night sky. No clouds, but just stars everywhere.
Okay.
Take a willpower roll.
13.
Okay. You can pull away.
That's good. The guys can't see me, right? Basically, they wouldn't be able to too far away to see whether I was almost not able to pull away.
I'll say that Varys and Portland have kind of spread out as much as possible, so there is some light. And you have a torch, so yeah, they could see you.
So
you guys saw so again, you saw Riff open the cloak. You didn't see any glowing. You saw him kind of do this, like lean down and look up, but it just looks like he's looking into an empty niche.
Tuco was kind of focusing on the insectoid in the center of the room. Did he notice anything change at all during this time?
Good question.
No.
would Riff have either the knowledge or a sense that he maybe almost wasn't able to stop looking into this night sky experience to be able to tell anyone?
You felt like you would have been perfectly content to stare at the stars forever. Like you felt like there was a lot to be learned from. Like if you could have just stared up at those stars, you feel like all the answers to all the questions would have been known to you.
Wow.
Such a Taik fanboy.
Hey.
Yeah, Riff is like, I just saw like the most mind-blowing thing. It was sort of like looking into the sky at night, just clear and endless, and I don't know. I was very peaceful about the whole thing, and
Weren't the mushrooms in a different cave, though?
I would have been fine. I could go back and do that more. But I came back because I know we have to resolve this. But I don't have any more clues other than what I just described seeing.
Humphrey,
Bill,
when you did your detect magic, Humphrey, all of the orbs showed up as magic. And anything that's magical on your friends, like of their items, showed up as magic. But one other object showed up as magical. And it was in just a smaller niche. And it looked like just a brass candelabra, but you didn't really like go up and inspect it.
Bill, did the Lon tell us what the object we're looking for looks like?
He did not. And you may remember that he told you, he did not tell you, but he told you that he could not tell you.
Humphrey would like to inspect the candelabra. Is there like a detect illusion?
Oh, it's very real. And it's radiating magic.
Does Humphrey have to move away from the...
Yeah, I mean, the candelabra is like, kind of like you're going through, there's a bunch of little trinkets and treasures, and then you see the candelabra. It's like in a niche kind of halfway through the room. So,
But when he moves away from his niche, does anything change?
well,
Inspect the
yeah,
candelabra?
I mean, his orb stops glowing and the statue stops glowing.
So does it look like the candelabra is big enough to like?
So you approach
all
it.
The orbs.
Okay, you approach it.
Yeah.
What you see is a brass candelabra that has a center kind of cup. And then there are 4 brass spokes that go out in each direction from that center cup. And each one of those spokes end in a cup. And each of the cups are the same size.
Okay.
How many cups were there again?
There are 5 total cups.
Interesting.
4, there's 1 in the center, and then 4 that radiate out from the center.
Humphrey is
There's
going.
Make a perception plus magic roll.
Me?
Yes, you're the one inspecting it.
Yes, I am inspecting with it. 13.
You see that there's some writing around the base of the cup, like a lot of writing, like very fine print.
Humphrey symbol, gets Durant over.
Yeah, not like 1 or 2 words, like fucking sentences and like a whole passage.
Humphrey gets Durant over and to say, what do you make of this?
All right, now I actually have to make a roll because whether Durant would be able to decipher all of this requires a roll. So he has 7 dice, which is good. And he got a 17.
Can Riff? No, never mind. I was gonna say, use the "you can do this" guidance.
So
Right.
Durant begins to decipher this. And what Durant does is he literally takes like 10 minutes to copy all of this into his book. And after copying it, he begins to read it. And you guys can either continue standing by your statues or you can kind of all gather around. It's up to you. But you have 10 minutes. So
I think we're going to go get close. Nothing else happened other than the statue stopped glowing, so...
Humphrey goes to get a coffee.
Riff's covered up the black orb again, and he comes over and joins his brother and the other guy.
Okay. Yeah. After about 10 minutes, because it takes him a little while to copy this stuff down and
Tuco's putting his bow and arrow away and readying his short sword.
Okay.
Fly swatter.
He says, I think I've transferred most of this.
Okay.
And it's either a poem or a song.
Okay, would you like to tell us more?
He says, I mean, if my understanding of this is correct, it's either a poem or a song. It talks about the gods, and there's something at the end. I'm not sure I'm translating it right, but I'll do my best.
I'd like you to sing it for us.
Can Riff mind link with Durant to get a better understanding of?
Yes, you can, because that is a thing. So Durant has mental 3, so he can definitely share what he's translating with you so that you have comprehension of that.
Now they both can perform.
Duet.
I love to sing.
Cave karaoke.
So your understanding as Durant begins to articulate this. He begins to actually sound it out at first, and then he starts to just kind of think it. And as you're kind of receiving his translation, the first line he translates says, Ayuk of mountains strong and roots run deep. Vusake of oceans waves and rivers winding. Deepa of fire burning and warmth to keep. Vem of cold winds blowing and air of breathing. Taik of stars at night and unknown knowing. Of the world and yet unplaced for the world. Moving isle must remain apart and yet connected. So I'm going to put that into the text for you, Riff.
This is Lost. This is such an unashamed rip-off of Lost. I love it so much.
Yeah, but my version's better because the ending doesn't
Oh
suck.
my god, the ending was so bad.
Sorry guys, you were all dead this whole time. You died. This is just purgatory. End of the campaign.
I know the audience guessed it like 3 seasons ago, but they're all dead.
Master Durant, does that include the sounds of the music, or is it just the words of the song?
He says, I don't know. I don't, there's no other context clues, but I believe that if these words were spoken and pronounced in the tongue, there's got to be a reason for it.
You probably matched Little Rose in Texas. That's the classic one.
Yes.
Durant begins to try to say the words. Ayuk ug nuep viopt. Tevusf ip suvd sep faik. Nothing happens. He continues reading each of these passages until he gets to the very last one. Nuof ot my natv signiop ikisv ipf zaiv du paid viaif. He completes saying all of them, and nothing happens.
Tuco wants to
Get out of
walk.
another place.
Probably
Tuco
gotta
wants
put
to
our
walk.
orbs on it.
Tuco wants to walk back over to the statue of Ayuk and ask him to read it again while I'm close to the statue. At least the
Ayuk
beginning part.
ug nuep viopt. Tevusf ipf suvt sep faik. Nothing happens.
Riff pulls out his lute and starts strumming some kind of simple tune, sort of to the same cadence that Durant is speaking, and trying to get Durant to try to sing it more than say it, like in some kind of rhythm sort of thing.
But Durant can't carry it too.
Durant suggests that you, brother, who are skilled performance, would perhaps be best suited to that task.
Well played,
All right.
Durant.
And thus, Riff, you even though you don't speak the language, your brother is, with the mind link, is basically coaching you how to say each of the things phonetically. So you would phonetically be singing and performing this.
I feel like you're being railroaded into this, Andy.
No, not at all. Oh, you cover mountains deep and strong, except in the right language.
So you begin to sing the phonetic pronunciation of this?
Yes, I'll give that a whirl.
Okay, so make me a willpower plus performance roll. You are deeply concentrating on understanding the phonetic pronunciation telepathically and then trying to project it in song. Originally, I had planned this out where I was going to have an entire scroll of music that you guys would have to actually perform. And it was going to have weird key changes and tempo changes.
Couldn't hit the note without nothing's happening.
And I was like, no, that's a little bit much. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
All right, so my willpower performance was a 22.
Wow.
God dang.
Wow. Okay, so what you guys hear is Riff begin to kind of sing in this language, singing it out phonetically. And as Riff completes the last part of it, the entire cave begins to glow from each of the 5 statues. From left to right, it glows green, blue, red, white, and purple. Each of the niches is emanating light.
I feel like this is a game of Simon. And we have to guess the...
And you see that the tunnel entrance that you came in here from changes. And as you are literally looking at it, it's no longer leading to a set of stone stairs going further into the cave. You are literally looking outside of the mountain entrance. And outside of this portal, you see the Lan sitting on a stone in the circle. And he doesn't seem to see you. He's kind of looking off, out away from the mountain, just kind of sitting there. But you are literally looking out a portal.
Power word kill.
Humphrey, I have an important question.
Yes, sir.
Did you take the candelabra?
Of course I did.
I assumed so, but I just wanted to make sure I knew who was carrying what.
Did you do anything with the candelabra?
Terrible, terrible things.
At this point, again, Varys and Torlin are just gobsmacked. They're like Varys is like, is that a way out? He's like, is that daylight? Is it
Not
real?
You, and then we kill him. No.
It's as real as that song was, my friend.
Can we step through?
Well, hold up. We see the lawn, but they don't appear to see us.
Correct.
We got
Is there a pathway from there, or is it just looking out the mountain and down a cliff?
No, it's literally like you're looking out the cave entrance, and you're looking at the little plateau where the Lan sits in his circle of stones.
Okay.
Side note, is anybody looting anything from the other niches?
Pretty risky.
So he didn't take anything else magical in the other niches, right?
No,
but there might be coins or
there's treasure.
No, this is Bill trying to sucker us back.
I'm gonna grab my diadem back.
No, not me. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Estrof, you take your diadem back. Nothing happens.
If there's anything close by,
portal is still open. If you want to scoop stuff, there are urns, there are flasks, jugs, bejeweled objects, and bejeweled statues, lamps.
Oh my God, Humphrey wants these things.
You had
My
me at
friends,
There are like art pieces made from gold and silver.
my friends, our
Does
task
anything
was
smell like alcohol in the jugs and flasks?
Alcohol? No.
our task was but to get one thing. These other things are but.
But the reason we came in, my dear Tuco, was with the promise of treasure. And you and I have been traveling for ages together. And we are so close to our objective of being able to have enough.
No, the Lon promised us a gift of our determining within his powers.
He
If
said
we
there were
decide to-
treasure along the way, though.
If we decided to give him the object, which I don't know if we've finally made that decision or not. We wanted to get the object, but do we want to give it to him?
Orland's like, may we take some treasure?
Sure, buddy. Have at it.
Torlin like starts going to the niches and grabbing things. Varys is like, okay.
Does anything happen?
No.
This is still a
So the custom pieces and everything that you're saying is in there, like the craft work and everything. Is there anything interesting?
Yeah. I mean, there's like ornamental weapons, there's statues, there's, gold and silver carvings.
Yeah, Humphrey wants anything.
Like all sorts of symbols, like bejeweled objects.
Humphrey wants to take as much as he can carry.
The valuables are with what's within us, not what's outside of us.
Fuck's sake.
I want to half-ass grab some random things.
There's the journey along
like
the
carvings
way.
and whatnot.
The real treasure was the...
Estrof, you grab an armload of stuff.
They got all they can carry. Humphrey would like to make that bag of holding.
Okay. So you're using energetic magic,
Yep.
material magic,
Mhm.
and then spatial magic.
Oh, yeah. You'll never guess what happened those.
12, 16. So 16.
Molecular
So
decay.
you need 16 qua to start this off so that it lasts for a day.
I'll take 2. Wait, I don't need 16 qua per day for this thing, do I?
No, but to make it out of a normal bag, initial cost is 16 qua.
Okay, done.
You gonna be able to keep everything in there, all the valuables, Humphrey, so we don't have to worry
yeah.
about it. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, just keep your valuables with me, my friend.
You're
I've
gonna
been-
forget. It's gonna explode one morning.
I've been
Go
thinking
takes
about
his
that.
green
Well, I'll
orb and
just
looks
open
at
it
it.
up and I won't be able to see it. Just like a regular bag one day. I'll be like, shit.
I've been
I
thinking about
forgot to
that
pay my qua bill.
last line
I
of the
didn't pay my
song.
subscription.
was
Moving
that?
aisle. All right, enough about your treasure and your bag of holding.
Okay, well, hold on. Then let me finish that then. So yes, I would like to do the bag of holding and to scoop up everything that everybody else left behind.
Okay.
Tuco's taking the green orb, looking at it, blows on it, shines it up a little bit, and puts it in his cloak.
Okay.
Wait, how big are these orbs? This is actually a good point. Are they like fist size?
No, they're like a small billiard ball.
Okay. Cue ball size?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Humphrey
Killing you
would
that no
like...
one's done it, but Estrof wouldn't.
All right. So you guys, you load up. The portal's still there.
Right. Okay. So
Well, sorry, can I ask one more question before we do
Yes.
an action?
Yeah.
So is it like, if I'm looking at this largesse, this cornucopia of treasure, like, do I get the sense like this is more riches than like any this is a king's riches?
It's a lot.
Okay. Like, would someone like, I'm rich now? Like somebody like
Yeah, I mean,
is
like,
this FU money basically?
like on this island, I don't know how much value it has, but assuming that you
Yeah.
find civilization and could sell these things, you're fairly certain that their value is very high.
I'm just trying to figure out, is
He
this,
made
is
your
this,
retirement.
you know, is this fuck you money, or like, did I make my nut and like, am I out?
It's a lot.
You are terrible at answering this question. Okay,
Humphrey is at a stance of fuck you.
right. Okay, I'll pass it back to Riff.
How much is enough, my friend?
You're I'll say that you're, you know, relative to modern terms, like maybe you're a millionaire but not a billionaire level. You know what I mean?
Got it. I mean, and I asked because this is, you know, critical to Humphrey's character. Like,
Yes.
he's been trying to. Okay, I'll pass back to Andy here.
So Durant has completed copying this passage into his book, and he's kind of waiting for you guys to make a decision about what to do next.
Yeah, Riff's been mulling over the last line of the song, "Moving Isle must remain apart and yet connected," and he just speculates out loud like, okay, well, this song seemed to open this portal. Are we able to, like, I don't know, take this thing everywhere? Like, is this an island that can be, like, this whole island? Is it some kind of traveling device or what? Or what do you guys think?
Master Humphrey, take your bag, and we need to get it on the other side. So why don't you throw it on the other side of the portal? See what happens.
No, it stays with me, my friend.
And
I think you know me better.
are we considering doing something with the orbs with this candelabra? Because it looks like we could
Good
put
point.
them in there.
I've got a feeling we will need these orbs if we intend to defeat our lawn friend.
Tuco wants to put the green orb on the far left side. Cup.
There's no orientation on the candelabra.
Well, you said there's a middle one and then two on either side.
Yeah, imagine basically a middle one and then spokes radiating out equilaterally.
Oh, okay. It's not like menorah.
Everybody has, well, it is Hanukkah, so everybody gets menorahs all around.
What's our
I'm gonna
next move?
put my orb in one of the outside cups.
Okay. Nothing
I
happens.
think the black one needs to go in the middle.
All right, you guys want to try the same? Should we get them all in there?
Well,
Oh yeah.
Durant is like, we don't know what this would do.
correct.
Yeah, the statues did nothing.
Durant says, are we fairly certain, though, that this is what the Lan wants?
From what the description I remember, it's like a small black, I think he said orb, or stone, a small black object. But that's all the description I remember. Does anyone else have any recollection?
He didn't know.
Allan didn't know?
He said he couldn't tell us.
Or wouldn't tell us.
Alright.
But how would we have known what to find? I could have sworn he told us some basic description.
Well, we have a bunch of stuff. If we either have it or we don't. If we don't have
Oh.
it, he'll tell us. The real question here is, if we do have it, are we going to give it to him?
Well, I think the consequences of not was he's going to unleash death on everyone that's back at the camp, at least. And
we'll
who
be
knows
fine?
what else.
So our other
I
option
don't know.
is, if this is some kind of
Doubt it.
weapon that he intends to use, can we use this weapon against him? But we need more information about what it is and how to use it.
I think if I remember our discussion from previously, it wasn't so much a worry about it being a weapon as opposed to it's his key to getting out of here.
Yeah,
but he wants it for something else besides that. Just that.
Oh,
All
did you
these
say
darn
that?
choices.
Humphrey's
well-
of the opinion that, look, give him what he wants, send us home.
We don't have enough information of what it's going to do, what the consequences are.
Riff would
He may
like
go
to
send him home, and he may, honor his promises, and the rest of the world burns. Is that what we want?
Okay. Are there like any in it right now?
Any what?
Are there any in the candelabra right now?
The
Yeah,
green one.
Tuco put the green one in. Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. I just want to go ahead and be like, yeah, so far nothing has happened, and put mine in there too.
Okay. In the middle or on one of the exterior?
Well, you said the middle didn't quite fit the.
No,
didn't
one of
quite
them
fit
goes
his,
in the
right?
middle, and there's four spokes.
All of the cups are the same. All 5 of them are the same size, and all 5 of them could fit the orbs.
Damn.
Of that much, you're certain. You don't need to make a roll. Like, you could literally look at your orb and look at the cups. Any orb would fit in any cup.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the blue one doesn't go in the middle, but Estrof would definitely put his in the middle.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Yeah, I told you. It is broken too.
Well, Durant doesn't seem to think this is a great idea. Riff would like to, while he's still thinking about it, reach out and ask for guidance from the one true God, Upayvasai Hoof again. Say, we're here, we have these powerful objects. Is there any way you can give me a sign whether we should try to use this or just simply complete our quest going to this lawn?
Make roll 64.
I feel like I'm using the one she got as a magic 8-ball.
Right. I still have my crystal ball. And whatever happened to my time stop device?
15, 16.
Okay. Minus off 4 qua.
Okay.
And because you're 2 full steps over the target, you basically it's the equivalent of kind of an augury. So you can ask 3 questions. The questions can be answered with yes, no, or maybe, depending on how you phrase the questions.
All I
Right.
can hear is Malcolm in the middle.
So the first question is, if we complete this quest and give the lawn what it wants, will that ultimately lead to pain and suffering for innocent lives simply by giving him what he wanted?
Yes.
Maybe. It's not a definitive yes. It's a maybe.
Are you saying this out loud, or are you thinking it?
No, that was my first question.
Did we hear you asking it?
I guess it would probably be like a thought prayer kind of thing. Next would be if we go through this portal, are we going to be endangering ourselves or everyone back at the camp simply by going through there?
No.
The last one is, will I lose your favor by giving this creature what it wants?
That's a great question.
No.
All right, Riff just kind of takes a deep breath and lets it out, and he's just like, guys, I have no idea what your thoughts on what we're going to do when we get back to the lawn, presuming we go through here and we're going to have that conversation with him, or even if he's going to just snap his fingers and take everything he wants from us and leave us for dead. But I'm ready to go through if you guys are. We have all the
So
treasure we want.
I've believe in your feelings. My question is, do we give these pieces to the Lan, or do we need to put them together correctly before we give it to him?
Captain Planet style?
Durant's like, I don't know that we know how to do that. Like, even if we wanted to, I'm not sure. There's no directions on this artifact that indicate the orientation or the order in which to put these.
So then we are assuming that this is what the Lan wants. We should go out and ask him. This is what he wants.
Why don't we send one person out who doesn't have anything on him as an emissary? I know just a gnome.
Just to know.
Just a gnome to do it.
Or Vorless or
Durant points
Varys.
something out. I'm trying not to use Durant as like a god, DM knowledge, but this is something that you guys would likely have remembered. So Durant says, the Lan couldn't look into the mountain. He couldn't scry into the mountain. So if we send one person out, I don't know that person could ever get back in or communicate with us.
Oh, we can see from here.
We could see, but we can't hear, and we can't talk back and forth. Like Durant goes over to the portal and is like, Lan, can you hear us? There's no reaction.
Well, then why don't we say, send one person out, and then say, if you raise up both your hands like this, that means, I don't know, give us a thumbs up or something to let us come out. It tells us it's okay.
Even if he could go through, there's no guarantee he could come back.
Yeah. Well, he sent us through in the first place.
I'm kind of thinking that we should stick together here in this. I think we need all of our wits about us together. We can
I
play
can
off
toss
each
him a
other.
message.
Will the message go through the portal?
I've got paper and charcoal, so I could definitely write, which one is the treasure? Ball it up and then try to hit him with it.
Actually, that's actually a really good point. Can I send a message to the lawn? I've got like message. I've imagined it was a pretty basic concept. Can I message the lawn and be like, hey man, I think we got what you're looking for. We don't know exactly what it is. We want to make sure before we leave, we haven't left it behind.
You can try.
Yes, please. I would like to do such.
Make a willpower plus magic roll.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh.
My favorite kind of roll. I've been rolling kind of bad today, so we'll see. 22. I'll take it.
What do you want to message the Lan?
What the fuck do I want to say to this guy? We've acquired many things. We think we are ready to leave.
As you're doing this, you're looking out the portal. You see the Lan go like, and he's like looking around, and he turns and he basically is like looking at you guys, but clearly doesn't see you, and he's like, and you just see like amazement on his face, like he's like,
so we've acquired many things. If we leave, we fear we can't come back. Can you tell us what we need to bring you, so we make sure we haven't forgotten it?
you see he walks closer, and you see him like basically at the very edge, like he's inches away from you guys, just on the other side of the portal, and you see him going like,
we can see you. Just tell us what you want. For fuck's sake, Lon. Can I boop him right in the nose?
you can go through the portal. So your impression, perception plus social manipulation, is that the Lan can somehow hear you, but is not able to two-way, despite the massive success that you had, which penetrated the supremely powerful magic at this mountain.
And he said before that
Pantomime.
his magic does not come through, doesn't go
Yeah.
past the portal.
Correct.
And that's good, because otherwise he might be bugging your magic
we're
8 ball again, Humphrey.
But
We're gonna
Could
play
we-
charades. Is what we're.
could
gonna
we
do.
use this,
So
my friends? Could we just bring him useless stuff, treasure, whatever, and give it to him? Here, we got what you wanted. And then he says, this isn't what we want. Like, oh, sorry, that's all we had.
and then what? He'll go back to the murderous rampage that he's been on.
Well, I mean, it may be, we're
We have
assuming that we have what he wants. It may be that anyways.
We
All
have
right,
two
here's what-
choices. We either going to fight the guy or give him what he
And
wants.
lose. I don't think we're going to win that fight.
You might.
Here's my take. Put the orbs and the candelabra in your bag of holding, Humphrey. Let's carry some of the pieces of the treasure we just found. Like, take some of that out of there, and make sure he doesn't see your bag.
Humphrey looks for some of the low cost, like copper pieces.
So we just go out there and like, hey, we made it through, and are any of these what you were looking for? If that's the game you guys would play, I still think it's the black orb, but we definitely don't want him to get any of the other orbs or the candelabra. At the most, I say we let him have what he wants, the one thing, and we carry everything else hidden from him in your bag.
Oh,
That's
so
my-
we give him the fake
Agreed.
treasure. He says, this is what we want. Then we say, here's the black orb. This is the only other thing we found. And he said, well, that's part of it, but that's all we got. We thought that was what you wanted.
Agreed.
Oh well, we tried.
That's my plan. Maybe find a black rock about the same size as the orb and say, is this it?
Just bioluminescent algae.
Use your material
I
energy
may
and
be
form
able
it
to
into
color
an
a rock
orb.
with the black orb, so-
Humphrey
That's my name.
and Durant are going to make perception plus magic rolls.
Oh, I gotta up my perception. That's something I have.
Riff and Estrof
22.
and Tuco,
Nice roll.
you can choose between perception plus history or perception plus religion.
22, sir.
Religion, 0, history.
I'm definitely doing religion.
Perception, that's not good. 4.
14.
That tracks.
Ooh,
There's a 9 for Riff.
Okay. And Humphrey, you got a 22.
I did 74. Yeah. 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3. Good roll.
Okay. Let me just make a quick roll to round that out for Durant. Durant got a 17. Estrof. In your experience, beasts and monsters with lower intelligence can often be tricked or deceived. Humphrey, in your experience, demons are usually not easily tricked. And the price of trying to trick a demon is usually a steep price to pay.
Your life. Copy all.
Durant echoes this sentiment with his own insights and is not entirely sure that the plan to try to trick the Lan is the best course of action.
It's please sound.
Tuco's
Furthermore-
pretty confident it'll work. It's fine.
Furthermore, as an adherent to Upai Visei Hoof and also Savak Boku,
They both think that it's a bad idea.
Durant trusts the insight and discernment that Upai Visei Hoof gave to Riff. And Durant concludes his statement by saying, if ever there was a time to adhere to faith, perhaps this is the time.
What does that mean? Just kind of go with the punches?
It isn't always logical or known to us what the will of the gods is.
Guys, this is always our folly. Let's just shit or get off the pot. Let's just commit
I
to
am
doing
not a
the diet.
religious man, but
We can still be faithfully cautious.
I have learned a lot here,
Well,
and I think we need to
about-
trust in the gods.
Yeah, I'm just
So
saying,
after
like,
all of this, I'll just grab the candelabra and walk out and be like, "Is this it? Plus a few more stones."
Well,
right?
you can't grab that because it's already in Humphrey's bag.
It is.
Oh,
So-
that's right.
So my
But this
question
is-
to you is, without having that, do you walk out?
No, like,
Yes.
if we look back at like all the other seasons of D&D with dads, this is what we do. We deliberate on these topics, like until Bill wants to. Like, Bill used to have a full head of hair when he started with us. This is what we do. So
It was a magnificent
Well, I
flowing.
stand by
Right.
I stand by what I said. He only wants the one thing. Put the candelabra and the other orbs in your bag. He only asked for the one thing.
I
We're not
agree.
deceiving him. We're just showing him what he wanted.
agreed.
Es-
As much as I
Estrof
can.
walked out. You see him
Um,
through the portal. You see Estrof appear.
He does
and
not have the.
The
Tuco says,
second,
"Wait!"
the
and then he
second
follows.
Estrof walks out, the lawn whip pans around. And
Tuco
looks,
follows him out.
okay, Tuco, you walk out.
So does Humphrey and the rest of the gang, I imagine.
Varys and Torlin walk out. Durant waits for you, Riff.
Yeah, Riff was going to be walking out last,
Okay,
holding the thing in his blanket, covered
Durant.
with Durant.
Durant puts a hand on your shoulder, and he just says, "Brother," and then he walks through.
Yep. Following right behind him.
When Riff walks out, the Lan looks at the group of you, and you notice that his eyes dart over to Torlin and Varys, and he's like, "Huh. Well. I didn't think any of them survived."
Does Torlin and Varys recognize him at all?
You see Torlin and Varys kind of, they don't have their swords raised, but they kind of back away. You could tell that they're a bit mistrustful. The Lan looks at the group of you and he says, "So, I am quite impressed. Please, you must be famished. Come, have a seat. I'm eager to hear the tale of your journey." And he sits down at one of the stones in the circle, and he puts his hand over the dirt, and there suddenly appears like a pile of fruit.
Tuco's not touching it.
He says,
Estrof feels otherwise.
I was gonna say, I bet you Torlin and Varys have, they're all for it.
What is the seating arrangement? Is it like a circle of stones?
"Yeah,
Is there a way
it's a
Riff
circle."
can Riff wants to sit directly across from the thing.
Yep.
And he never sat down the first time when they met him. He always refused to sit because he didn't trust them, but he's just gonna walk up and sit like directly across from him this time.
Tuco's going to stand right behind Riff and be watching the lawn.
Okay. Torlin and Varys, once you guys sit down, they'll sit down, but you could still you can see that they're still a bit cautious. The Lan says, "So, you are alive. I'm hoping that you have wonderfully good news about the artifacts that you recovered."
We found many things, but we don't know exactly what you're looking for. Is this it? And then he holds up like some copper chalice or whatever that he finds. Like, what are you looking for, my friend?
Make a willpower plus social manipulation roll.
Humphrey has many wares. Let's see, willpower, and so what is my social manipulation?
It's going to turn you into a pile of fruit.
Yeah, right. 22. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, hold on.
22 fruit.
I'm just messing. I'm just kidding. It was 12.
He says, no, that is not. I specifically need a collection of things in order to grant your wish.
I think you told us one thing.
Yes, I need one thing for my purposes, but I need all of the things to grant your wish.
I feel like you're moving the goalpost on us, my friend.
Oh, I don't need them permanently.
Will you give, if we have we have a bunch of different things. If we have what you're looking for, will you return them to us once you are done?
Well,
Granting our wish?
I won't really be taking them. So in a manner of speaking, yes, they're yours to keep.
I feel like we are about to get manipulated.
You'll keep it the rest of your life.
He says,
Right?
we
If they get
made it,
destroyed or
he
whatever.
said, it's been a little while, but we made an agreement. You want something, don't you?
Yeah, of course we all do.
Well, I'm not sure if you've decided on what you wanted, but I know what I want. So would you like to stay here with the settlement, with the people that you arrived with and stay on this island? Would you like to go elsewhere?
We should have really had this conversation. Like, we've been putting off this like meta. We've been putting on off this conversation for ages. Like,
He
what
says-
do we want?
I believe that with the objects you've recovered, that I could bring you to the location of your choice.
Tuco wants to whisper in Riff's ear. I liked your idea before we started of what you tried to constrain upon this lawn. Maybe that should be our wish.
Humphrey simply wants to have a nice place outside of a major city. He wants to live in the suburbs, if you will. That's what Humphrey doesn't mind staying, but he wouldn't mind going either. He's just ready to
He says, perhaps you long for a place that is like the place that you came from. A place where there are elves and dwarves. And he looks at Estrof and gnomes.
Wait. He knows about those
knows who they are.
things?
He says, it is possible that I could take you there.
How do you know about those types of individuals? Like,
Well-
once we got here, their features had changed.
Yes, you cannot, and you notice he looks at Estrof, and then he looks at Riff, and he says, yes, I'm sure that those features changed, and you likely discovered other things had changed as well. He says, your ability to see at night, no longer, correct?
Yeah, I miss it.
He says, the place that I could take you, you would return to the form that you originated from. Your ability would return.
I see.
He
The
said,
place,
but if you desired to go elsewhere in this world, that is also an option. You mentioned a city.
Are there any major cities around here?
There are many. On a Rakazine, for example, there are vast numbers of kingdoms rich with cities. The ancient kingdoms have dozens of huge cities. But if you're looking for something perhaps a little more pastoral, perhaps the port city of O'Shale, from where, and you see that he looks at Varys and Torlin, he says, where they came from. And Torlin and Varys are like, oh, like, they're kind of like frightened.
We would like to make sure that our two companions here return safely to where, a place they feel comfortable.
Well, you can take them with you, but I owe them nothing. They were not part of the original deal.
Sir, if you can send us to different realms or planes, can you even send us to different times? The future or the past?
Yes. He says, perhaps you would like to see the rest of this world. There are many other places. Kaminos is an entire continent full of fantastic creatures. Do you know of creatures that are part man and part horse? The centaur.
That could be a new one.
The Leonin. They're lion men. Or the satyrs. There are many magical and exciting creatures in Kaminos.
Are you able to give us a moment so we can confer amongst ourselves?
Of course. I'm
private.
simply offering you options. Perhaps you'd like to go to a continent where there are people of dark complexion who wield strange magic and have knowledge of the spirit realm. Many options.
We had tried in the past to talk amongst ourselves with our minds, but you saw past that. We would ask your word that you would not try and listen in on our conversation.
Very well.
To which place did the stolen ship go? Was that to Arakazine? Because we'd very much like to know about that. Do you know where it went?
You speak of the ship that that the captain of your expedition once owned?
Yeah.
No, that went to the east, to Nicaea. Nicaea is a chain of islands.
Okay.
I could bring you there as well. There are some cities in Nicaea. You might find them intriguing.
That would be an interesting continuation.
I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the idea of Estrof turning into a Minotaur.
I like
you would not. He says you would not change. He's like there is only one place that I could send you where you would find others of your original kind, my small friend. And that is Nuo Otmai. That is where you would find elves and dwarves and gnomes. That is where you would find the Dragonborn.
I am all in favor of tracking a meta moment. I'm all in favor of continuing this by trying to continue to track down that ship that was stolen from us. I think it was before Estrof showed up.
Yeah, it also has the girl.
Does it have our goblin? Wait, what do we do with our goblin?
He says Nicaea is certainly full of adventures. There are many islands, some of which have been well established, with cities even. Many seafaring adventures amongst and between the islands, and yet still some islands that have not been fully explored.
Humphrey is split. Part of it, he's like, oh God, I'm 2 days from retirement sort of attitude, and then he's like, but I've got infinite cosmic powers with itty bitty space, right? No, but like he's this magical growth that he's just exploded inside him. There is that part of him that craves adventure still, and he wrestles.
You should get that looked at. The magical
dualities. Yeah, right. I wonder if I can get that cut out.
He says, I believe for a number of reasons that you would be best suited to a place where you have the opportunity for adventure, but yet there is civilization. Yes?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This could be Nuo Fotmai, if you desired to be amongst your own kind. It could be Arakazine, certainly a great continent full of adventure, but mind you, if you went to Arakazine, you would remain as you are now. The vestiges of your old elvish and gnomish existences would not be present.
We are more powerful now than we were before.
But this body is so unnatural.
He says, yes, in a manner of speaking, in Arakazine, in Nicaea, you would continue to have the same powers that you have discovered here. On Kaminos, you would likely be as powerful. And Nuofotmai, perhaps even more so.
One other question. What would happen to our shipmates if we have you send us somewhere? They would not come with us because they were not part of the deal as well, right?
I made an oath with him, and he points to Riff. He says, I will not interfere with their settlement. I will not be here to interfere with their settlement. I am going to Kaminos.
But they can't do anything. They can't leave. They don't have a ship.
He is going to come. That's the point. This is new information.
Sooner
He's
or
going to
later,
Kaminos.
another ship will come. And he points to Barris and Torlin. He says their expedition came 25 years ago.
I am torn between Arakazine and Nuofotmai, guys. Any thoughts on either of those two? They seem the most promising.
I think very much Nuofotmai.
I want to find out what happened to the ship.
I think we could get from Arakazine. I think we can get to any other of these places that we desire, but I feel like that's more of a central hub kind of thing.
He says, oh no, I'm afraid that's not entirely true. You could, from Arakazine, you could go to Chodar. You could return here. You could sail to Nicaea. You could go to Borea or even Sakura. And possibly, if you found a ship and a crew competent enough to navigate, you could even find a Zarach. But you could not go to Kaminos or Nuofotmai from Arakazine.
Why?
It is difficult to explain. Nuofotmai, well, Kaminos, there is no ship that can sail there. There are great leviathans that dwell in the deep waters around Kaminos. Nothing can sail to Kaminos or sail from it. That's why I intend to go there. But Nuofotmai is different. You see, it is apart from the rest of the world, yet it is connected.
What are your plans to do in Kaminos?
I intend to live free without the constraints of being trapped on this island. There is a wealth of opportunity on Kaminos. It is a wild land, and to some it is very dangerous. But I would seek out a pleasant place where I could enjoy traveling and seeing mountains other than this one, walking through grass plains, and perhaps even feeling warm sand of a desert underneath my feet.
Let's go offer to work for this guy in Kaminos.
Master Durant, was your librarian author friend on the ship that went missing?
Durant nods. He says, yes, Alyssa is on that ship.
Alyssa, that's right.
Riff gets out his lute again and tries to sing the same song that he had sung on the inside, because something struck a chord in him when the lawn just mentioned something about the land that must be made apart, but it's connected. And it just stuck in Riff's head.
All right. Make a willpower plus performance roll.
Oh, this might be really terrible thing to do. Uh, 16.
You perform it. You notice as you perform it, recalling the phonetic pronunciation, that the lawn begins to weep. And at the end of it, he kind of like wipes the tears from his face.
He's got emotions.
He says, I have not heard that song in a very long time. How did you know the words?
Your god. Your
My
new
brother-
god.
Crazy phase in college.
my brother and I came across this in our last cavern as we were seeking wisdom from above on how to proceed. He shared the words in my mind, and I added the music.
He says, you know that it is one of the saddest songs.
I do now.
It is the song of their sacrifice.
Ooh.
Tell us more.
Ayuk, Usek, Deepa, Vem, and Taik. They sacrificed themselves to make Nuof Otmai.
Why did they do that?
Lore completed.
He says, you were willing to risk yourselves to prevent harm from others. Yes?
Yes.
Could say so.
They sacrificed themselves to save many.
From what?
The sundering of the western coast of Arakazine would have resulted in the deaths of many.
Every answer begs more questions.
Is it true that if you take us to Nuof Otmai, that our paths with you may cross again in the future?
That is highly unlikely. Once you go to Nuof Otmai, you would never be able to go anywhere else. You should know that.
But we shall still have our
Those
abilities that we came here.
certainly, yes, you would. You would possess what you possess now. And in arriving in Nuof Otmai, you would return to the forms of your origin. And he gestures to Estrof and to Riff. He says, but you would never be able to leave Nuof Otmai. None who are there can leave, just as none who are here can go there.
What about these transition stones? I forget what they're called. With the new metal on them. Ancient magic. Do those exist in New Wolf? And would we be able to potentially use them?
The beacons?
Yes.
You would be able to use them within Nuof Otmai, but not from without of it. You would be able to, if you in time learned how to use them, you would be able to move around Nuof Otmai much faster, but you could never leave Nuof Otmai.
This place comes with an Uber service.
Would we keep all of our belongings, everything that we found, these trinkets, these treasures, things that we brought with us, would they stay with us if you transport us to Nuof Otmai? Or will things not be able to make the...
He says, I could open a portal to Nuof Otmai, for you, but you would not be able to take the Godstones. They won't pass through the portal. If you wanted to go to Arakazine, or Nicaea, or Chodar, or Zarach, or Sakura, or Borea, you would be able to take the Godstones with you. But they will not pass through a portal to New Wolfotmai, just as they will not pass through a portal to Kaminos.
Riff looks at Humphrey at the mentions of the Godstones, as Humphrey seems the one most interested in wielding them, to see his reaction to this.
Humphrey is disappointed, but doesn't otherwise appear.
If it is the power of the Godstones that you seek to retain, then why would you not remain upon Kikapulan and choose somewhere such as Arakazine or Nicaea or Chodar or Borea or Zarach or Sakura?
If we go to
we don't know any of these
New Wolfotmai, would we still, my religious friends here, be able to communicate with Upaiseavuf and Sadanboku?
The gods are cut off from New Wolfotmai. Only the five exist in New Wolfotmai.
Then I think Iraq. Okay. Can we have a moment to meta so we don't have to do this via chat?
You can meta.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I know we were all talking about New Wolfotmai, but it does sound like, canonically it would make sense for you guys to go somewhere that you'd be cut off from, the new gods that you have become fond of.
Yeah, seems like we'll be limited in what we can do and what we are there.
So the two thoughts come to my mind. There is Arakazine, right, in that whole continent, and we can find a nice city there. I'm gonna throw this out there, and you guys can throw it right back at me. We could follow the lawn to where he's going.
Yeah, but that's also gonna cut us off from everything else.
No, I didn't think it. What, Bill? What was that?
Well, you said from sailing.
Do you ask the Lan about that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you mentioned. I thought you already said it. Then yes.
He said we couldn't sail to or from it.
He says yes. You cannot sail to or from Kaminos, but also the gods are cut off from Kaminos.
Okay.
There is only one god in Kaminos, and he is Sinkaron.
Okay.
And Sinkaron is not a god who will answer your prayers, unless your prayer is to be taken from life. Sinkaron is the god of death.
I'm gonna vote for staying around Kikapulan, guys. I feel like we've made some good headway here. We've made some good contacts. What do you think, Durant? What do you think, brother?
Yeah. That's a good point. Let's get Durant's take. Let's build someone who's in, or Erik.
All right. Thinking about Durant. Durant has vigorously pursued knowledge while you've been here, has vigorously tried to learn about the lands, the cultures, the languages, the gods. I think Durant would probably want to stay somewhere where you could still travel to other places. Whether that's Arakazine, whether that's Nicaea, or one of the other places that the Lan mentioned, but basically somewhere that can still be connected to other places.
What's in Arakazine? Arakazine's the continent, right?
Arakazine is a continent.
What are
that where the ship went?
Arakazine?
The ship went towards Nicaea.
Nicaea, okay.
He says, where you are now, this island, it is about halfway between Nicaea, Borea, and Chodar. Beyond Chodar is Arakazine.
This is what I would like to do.
Furthest to the west.
I would like to go to Nicaea.
If you go to the east to Nicaea, you will be closer to Kem, Zarach, and Sakura.
I think we should go to Nicaea because we can, 1, look for the ship.
Yes.
2, we can send help back for our shipmates that are stuck here because they're within ship range. And then
Yeah.
Agreed.
we can steam near our
I'm
gods.
with you. Like,
And
go ahead.
if we ever want to go to Araxine or anything else later, but Nicaea can be our starting point.
Launching out. Exactly. Like, how badass would it be if we were to like go to Nicaea, like figure out the mystery of what the hell happened to the ship, recapture the ship, like drive it back all the way over and like rescue the captain. Let me tell you, regale you about all the bullshit we just had to deal with to rescue your bitch ass.
And there may still be opportunities for a one-way travel to New Ofotmai or Caminos.
Retirement later.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Or
retirement.
If there's
I'm
another earth-shattering event,
I vote for
go
Nicaea.
save.
I vote for Nicaea too. I think that Durant probably wouldn't have a problem with that.
We can go find Alyssa.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Erik would be all for it. So
I fifth that.
All right.
Okay.
The Lan looks at you guys and he says, though you do not yet have the mastery of understanding the markers and how to use them as waypoints, you did find one here, did you not?
We believe so.
He says, and did you copy it? And Durant opens his book, and in fact, you will remember that he made a rubbing of it. And he says, you may use that when the knowledge is granted to you, if you should wish to return to this place from Nicaea. I cannot say that I know where there are markers in Nicaea, but I'm certain that there are. And if so, they would be very ancient.
Then let's
Do you choose then to take these 2 men with you, or
yes.
do you choose to have them return to the settlement with your Captain Edwards?
We
Let's ask them
asked
what they
them,
want.
What do they want?
Eris, Torlin.
Varys and Torlin are mystified by this discussion.
Like I couldn't even imagine being like side of this conversation.
Varys and Torlin trust that you guys know what you're doing because you've demonstrated great aptitude.
So foolish of them.
And as they are significantly older at this point, they would rather find a place where they could take some of these treasures and sell them and live comfortably. So they will go with you.
Okay.
Do we want to get a message to Captain Edwards and,
Yes.
about what we're due? Because I have a feeling we're not going to be able to see them once.
Humphrey could easily send a message to Edwards. You mind link to Edwards, minus off 6 qua. You send him a message detailing.
We'll be back to get him. To be patient.
We're coming back. We're coming back for you. Stop.
Okay.
Peace, later.
Argue with a demon. Stop. XOXO Humphrey. Stop.
You do. Edwards responds to you saying, I'm not sure how this is possible, but I have come to realize that you and your coterie represent great power, and the gods must be with you if you have the means of doing this. I hope and pray that you will be safe, and if Providence allows it to be so, that you will return to us.
Yep. And we already set them up with all these fortifications and all this other stuff, so they should be in good shape. And he knows we're coming back from.
All right. I think we made a decision, right?
So the Lan says, excellent. Then let us commence.
And
Each one of you.
Humphrey reaches out into his bag.
He says, I will need the artifact first.
Riff uncovers the top of the blanket. Is this what you seek? Showing
It will be part of it. Do you give him the candelabra?
Yeah.
You notice that he refers to it as the artifact. He takes it and he looks at it and he kind of looks at the bottom and he says, ah. And he sets it down in the middle of the circle. And then he says, the tear of Ayuk, who possesses it?
It was with
the green orb.
It was with it. Tuco had put it on in one of the side ones.
Yeah.
So he puts it into a cup, and he says, "And who then possesses the milk of Vusek?"
Durant.
I'd dig it out, pass it over to him.
He sets it down.
Usually broken though.
He sets it down in another cup. And who possesses the fire of Deepa?
Ah.
He takes it and sets it down in the next cup. And the breath of Vem?
Oh, that was Durant. Sorry.
Durant takes it, hands it to him. He sets it down. He says, and the Void Stone?
A void stone.
Riff holds it up on the blanket.
He says, you will need to put it in the center.
Durant's taking fierce notes over there.
All right.
Boy, that's what it
Right.
was.
At this point, Riff contemplated all this stuff. He just,
Make a perception plus social manipulation roll, Riff.
You're gonna get turned into a duck.
You're a duck now.
A duck bard.
18.
Okay, so the expression that he made when you went to hand it to him, you kind of got a sense of he wanted to take that, but he can't. Kind of like if you put an 8-ball of Coke in front of an addict.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Who's in recovery, that kind of thing.
This is normal behavior for us.
He wanted to take it, but he can't. So he kind of steps back and gestures for you to put it in the middle.
Yeah,
Said
so-
no addict
so-
ever.
So as Riff is putting it in the middle of the candelabra, he looks directly at Indalan's face and says, "The Gesh. Remember the Gesh." As if Riff knows this is binding forever.
The Lan nods.
You can't get over this analogy that would relate to all of them.
The Lan puts his hands together and he just starts staring at the candelabra on the ground with all the stones in it. And then he puts his hands up and he begins chanting in another language. And this goes on for a full 10 minutes. And he's kind of at this point in a sort of a trance, he's kind of rocking back and forth, chanting. And you see that each of the stones starts to glow. At first, very, very gradually. And each of them starts to glow a little brighter. And at the conclusion of this 10 minutes, you see that all 4 of the exterior stones are glowing very brightly. And then you see the black orb in the middle begin to glow purple. And then it gets very, very bright to the point where you guys literally can't look at it anymore. It's so bright. And the last word that he says, you understand, is Nicaea. And you see, as the light fades, you see a circular portal kind of hovering above his circle of stones and the candelabra. And you could see through the portal. And on the other side of the portal, you see a rocky beach. And in the distance, you see walls and towers and buildings, a city. And he says, that is the portal to Nicaea. He says, Should you wish to go through it now, you may do so, but I would ask that you allow me to depart first. And then you see he goes like this with his hands, and he turns his hands like this, and you see the portal turn. And on this side of the portal, you see a grass savanna for like miles, just nothing, no people, no nothing. He says, that is Caminos. That is where I wish to go. He says,
why must you go first?
Because if you take the stones, the portal will fade. And if it is your intention to take the stones, you may do so, and then quickly go through the portal before it closes. And his hands are still in the air. He says, we have concluded our arrangement. I will be going now, and it is likely that we will not see each other.
Thank you.
Be good. Right often.
He nods, and you see he steps up onto one of the stones in the ring of stones, and he jumps through. And you see him kind of land in the grassy savanna. And he turns back around, and it's kind of the same thing as when you guys were in the cave. Like, he turns back around, and it's clear to you that he doesn't see you or the portal. And then you see him just kind of walking away through this savanna. You see him like reach out his hands, like, and just kind of like his hands are just gliding over the tall grass as he's walking through this tall grass. As you guys like literally move around to the other side of the portal, which is only 2-dimensional, you see the original portal that he showed you, and you see like a rocky beach, and then in the distance like some kind of town.
Okay, you guys ready?
Let's go before the magic wears out.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I don't trust this magic.
We grab the stones and we quickly jump through.
Okay, everybody grab stones. Torlin and Varys jump through with you. All of you guys jump through. You land on this damp, rocky, wet beach. Once all of you are through, you see the portal is still open for a few seconds. And then you see the light fade, and then it's gone. And you find yourself on the rocky shore of some land. And in the distance, maybe about a half-mile away, as you look around, you see a harbor, and you see some smallish boats, like fishing boats maybe, and you see some, like a dock, and then up the hill and kind of a half-mile away, you see the outline of this town in the distance. And that, my friends, is where we will end this episode of the Dads. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you, as always, to all of you for liking, subscribing, sharing our videos, and of course to my patrons who make all this possible. We'll see you on the next episode, everybody. Happy gaming.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allan World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that, because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.